Hey guys, today we are going to be looking at the Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom Cyclonus. So yeah, it's Voyager Cyclonus, and it's his futuristic space jet. That's really it. And you can see all the panel lines and stuff of him. Yeah, it looks like his jet. Oops. The cockpit's done in a nice transparent orange like insert pieces. I like that, and it's not just like painted on. This is his gun. I guess it looks accurate. Just painted silver. It's that same like violet purple. And this one, my copy, I can't tell if there's any of the like yellowing or like discoloration. Maybe on like the hips. I don't know, but I don't know if I have any discoloration on mine. I think mine's fine, but I really haven't looked at him a lot. Like looked very close in detail to him. So yeah. So let's just get into the transformation, because this guy's transformation I really like. It's either the Universe or the Classics toy. It takes that Cyclonus toy and vamps it up. And it does a very good job of doing that. So first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna pull the arms, these thrusters, and those are blast effect compatible. All of these, I think. I don't have any, but obviously the gun is. But you can make them fly, and I did not. And I don't know. So yeah, and he does have landing gear right there, and here. Just I don't really pull it out that often, so you're gonna disconnect these. And on mine, they're stiff. I don't know if that's about every copy, but mine, they're just very tight. So now you're going to split this piece, just untab them from those little tabs, and you just want to rock it. So now it's out. So you're going to hinge that up, so it's going to look like this from the front. So now, when you bring that down, you can swivel all of this around. So now, we'll work on the legs. So we're going to split them, and we're going to rock them out. So, just like that. You can't really pull them straight out. You can, but I just like to rock them back and forth, and that just makes them come out that much easier. And now you're going to come back to these thrusters, bring them up, flip out the foot, fold that in, and close that up. I really like how they did that. I like how they did that. Like just flipping that up, having this come down, and bringing out the foot. I like the idea of that. So now, just stand him up. Raise the camera up a little bit. So now, what you're going to have to raise it up a little bit more. So now, you're going to open up this door, and you're going to flip in the nose cone. The very tip of the nose cone. So, what I like to do is I can't really get my finger in there, so I take the tip of the gun and put it in there, and there's just enough gap in there to where I can fit this in it and pull it out. So that's what I like to do, because I don't really have long fingernails to pull it out. So now you're going to bring down the chest, and now bring down the back. So now you split this. Well, you split both sides like simultaneously, and now you'll hinge this in. And sometimes the landing gear comes out because it's connected to the same hinge. Now you just close that back up. Close that back up. Now you bring that all the way around, and that reveals his head. So I'm going to lower this. So now you're going to just close up the chest, bring up the back, and now these tabs will go into these slots in his chest to fill out his chest. We'll fill out the shoulders. So now you'll bring down the arms. Make sure he's standing straight. So now these will hinge back on this hinge, and then you'll hinge them again right there, and then they'll sit flush like that. And now this piece, I guess you could leave it, but in the instructions it tell you to flip it up to give it more of a thinner look. So then you turn the arm, open his fist, and then spin the fist around. And you can only do it one way because this gets in the way. You can't spin it this way. The fist gets in the way. You can't. So you have to do it out this way. So you have to do that like that both ways. Then you just close that up. Now this side, do the same thing. And I guess you could use this as like a hand, and since that's a 5mm port, I think you could make weapons. You could make like a sword, or you know, if you had the Centurion pack with that like white brunt, you could give him Prime's axe or something. I don't know, just to like have fun with it. So yeah, just do the same thing. And there is Cyclonus. Just straighten him out. And there he is. And this guy, he looks beautiful. He looks very, very accurate to any source material any of it. He just knocks it out of the park with how he looks. He has light piping, as you can see from my light. It's just beautiful. He has transparent, little piece of transparent orange right there, and for the stomach, the gun neatly fits into his hand and just nests itself into this piece of like geometry on his arm. The joints are nice and tight, at least on my copy. He holds all of his poses, and he has a lot of posability. Head is very expressive. It's on a ball joint, and it has a hinge at the neck, so he can look down super far and look up super far. Obviously, it can swivel, and it can tilt because of the way his head is sculpted. He has a lot of posability options, and he looks very, very nice. So yeah, I really like the posability. I like the transformation. The transformation isn't hard. I owned, and I still own, the original like universe version of Cyclonus, and there are design cues that have been taken and then revamped into this figure. So he doesn't seem very foreign when I play with him or when I got him. He seemed different but still the same. So I could he still felt foreign, but he didn't feel complex and hard. He felt like he feels familiar. So I like the fact that they took some design elements. But this guy, he crushes the Universe one. He is one of the best figures that has been released. He has a smooth, fun transformation, almost like don't even need instructions for it. It's like riding a bike. You can't forget this transformation. It's so fun, so complex, like has a complexity to make it fun, but it's still simple. He his robot mode is marvelous. His vehicle mode looks very, very good. He has just enough. He has the right amount of articulation. He has a little bit of toe forward, so he has all of the design elements that you want. Really, the only gripes, and yet they're not even gripes, they're more like it's there. The head, it's a very nice head, but the face doesn't suit me. Like the expression, that's just me. And the knees, the way they transform when you bend them, they can be a little weird, but of course, so to make it look natural, you only get like 45 degrees, but for just using it, you get like 120 degrees. So that it's those things are just there. And he's a bit lighter of a purple for like his animation model. He's a bit darker in the TV show, in the original G1 cartoon, but those are like nitpicks. I couldn't fault this toy for having those. I do not see any discoloration in any of his parts, but of course I haven't looked very hard, and I'm not going to look very hard, because just because he's discoloring, that doesn't mean he is a bad toy by any means. It is just a slight flaw to an already very, very good figure, very good toy. And that's what he is. This guy is a bridge between a toy and a figure. He has the simplistic fun of a toy, but he has the articulation and elegance of a figure. So I really, really like this guy. He has both sides of collecting, if you like collecting toys or if you like collecting figures. And I really like that. He has both sides of that. So he's just an all-around good toy. The Generation Selects version is in his toy colors. I hear that he has a little bit of QC issues and like joint tolerances. So I don't know how much this guy goes for on like stores, in stores, wherever. I don't know how much he goes for. Probably the same price, like $35, since he's a Voyager, and he's a big Voyager. He's not small. He's fairly big. He is worth $35 in size, not just in engineering. And I guess like the only other complaint that I could think of, which is not even a complaint to me, is that he doesn't have a lot of paint. Comparing him to other toys, he doesn't have a lot of paint. But, I don't care about paint. I care about just a sturdy figure that holds his poses and has nice, stiff joints. So, yeah, this guy, if you've heard anyone talk about him, it's probably been good things, and if he does have any issues, they're like the tiniest little things. So, this guy, I highly, highly recommend him. Really, the only thing that you're not getting with him is like an interest, is like a cool, like, hey, look at that guy, he's cool, like, he's just a fun toy. He obviously is a fun toy, but he's sort of like bland in the fact that he's just plain old good. Like, he doesn't have any like fun flaws or anything. Like, he does, not saying that he's bad. He is one of the greatest figures that have come out in probably the last 5 years, I'd say. But that's really the only thing that I could say about him, is that he just doesn't have that like awe factor. He has the awe factor because he's so good. He doesn't have the presence. You really have to notice how awesome that this guy is. You have to pick him up and handle him. You can't just look at him and be like, oh, that's a cool toy. That's a really good figure. You have to pick pick him up and play with him. He's not like the new Legacy Metroplex where you just see him, not due to his size, but you see like the colors, the joints, and all the things that he evokes, and he's like, oh, that's awesome, that's cool. When like him, he's just another guy. But once you get into him, he evokes that awe of a perfectly designed toy, a perfectly designed anything, you know. You can tell that the people that worked on this guy truly, truly cared. And I like that. I like it when the person that's engineering anything, if it's a car, if it's a toy, if it's a desk, whatever, if they're engineering and designing it and they truly care about it, like they want it to succeed, and not just they want to make money off of it, when they care enough that they have a reason to make something this good, that's why I like it, is that the people behind it truly wanted to go beyond what they could possibly do. And if they're going to make another Cyclonus, they're going to have to try really, really, really hard to beat this. Really, only things that would really need to be changed is the knees. Which yet, they're not even that big of a deal. It will be a very, very hard task in a couple of years when they try to revisit this guy, if they ever try, because he is just that good. You know, the only thing, and he has a waist, only thing that they could really add to this toy is an ab crunch, which, that's really it. That's all that I can think of that they could add to make a newer version better than this version, you could say. So yeah, highly, highly recommend this guy. You could probably still find him super easy, and if it's like a joint issue for the Generation Selects version, you could probably fix that. Don't quote me on that. I don't own it, nor do I plan on owning it because I already have this guy. But highly, highly, highly recommend him if you can find him anywhere. I would pay at least $50 for him when he's like worth $30. I wouldn't pay $100, but I would pay $50. I would probably stop at $50 if someone was selling him for that, if I couldn't find him. So, highly, highly suggest getting this guy because he is worth every bit of it. So that's all that I can think of. So, until next time, see ya.